I'm Ellen Zetmeir with ReeceNichols Brookside. Today we're shooting another video of I've Got a Guy. I have a passion for old houses, how to sell them, how to live in them, how to buy them. Today we're here with Alan Johnson with AJ Construction. We're going to talk about paint and wood rot. So when you and your crew come in, what happens?
First of all, we want to sit there and diagnose why the wood rot is happening in the first place. Is it lack of flashing, caulking, stucco repair that needs to be done because it's letting water in? So we want to stop the issue. Second of all, we want to fix the problem by not just wood filling like a lot of other people do. We want to make sure we replace the whole piece of wood. And if we can, we want to use a product that's not going to rot anymore. In certain instances, like with the window doing the brick molds, we'll replace them with PVC.
So why is it important to replace the whole thing?
Because when you put the wood filler in there, it's only a quick fix. If it starts cracking out again, that wood filler is going to fall out, which is going to let the water get back in there. And with that fungus that's in there that causes the wood rot, it's just going to keep going.
So as a buyer, what should I have my clients looking for?
Well, one way to be able to tell if you have wood rot or not is usually the wood starts crinkling when it's starting to rot. So when you go around with customers, have them take a look at the wood, and if it's starting to look crinkled, then there's probably something going on underneath.
So what happens if repairs aren't done well? What am I looking at then?
Well, if they're not done well, it can just keep getting worse. And also it can start going inside the house and start messing with the structural framing, the joists, that kind of stuff.
Okay. As a homeowner and as we're getting a house ready to sell, what do we need to do to show that what's maintenance look like in that?
First, you need to walk around with the homeowners and just take a look and see if you see any wood rot. If you see it, you need to tell them to get it fixed properly. For one thing, it protects them when they're selling the house. And also it protects the new homeowners from not having the house start falling apart later on and being upset.
So as a maintenance item, what do we do if they see it immediately as a homeowner?
You need to get it fixed right away, because the longer you put it off, the worse it's going to get, because it does grow and spread.
So as we have new windows put in to our homes in Brookside, what are some of the things we need to look for from a quality installation?
You should always look on the outside, make sure that you have flashing above the windows. It's a metal L bracket, basically, that fits up underneath either your siding or your stucco.
Okay.
And it comes out over your brick molds and then has another lip on it so that no water can get behind that area.
Okay.
So you can see when this new addition was added on, they didn't put flashing above this window, which is causing the brick molds to start rotting out.
Now, is it going inside the wall too?
Yes. Any spot where it's not flashing done, if the water is getting in there, it's actually getting in back behind there.
Okay. So how do we remedy the whole thing?
Take off the brick mold. You have to remove some of the stucco to be able to make sure your flashing gets up behind it. The new stucco in, and then put your brick molds back in place.
Now, in these old houses, would there have been metal flashing when these houses were built 100 years ago?
Not when it was built. So you have to either add them when you do new windows. You need to walk around your house, I would say once a month, and just take a look at your caulking on your house and everything else. And if you see gaps, go out and caulk it in. Try to make it so the water's not getting in there to cause problems.
Is there a special caulk you should use?
Well, if you're going to not be painting for a little while, I would probably recommend using a clear siliconized caulking, but make sure that it's not silicone and it can be painted. Or otherwise your painter will not like you very much because it'll keep beating up on
so
you.
the paintable caulk is the way to go. So here in Brookside, we have some older gutters that were installed in different ways. What are some of the things that we need to look for, both as a buyer and a homeowner?
Well, you always need to check on your gutters and just make sure that none of them look like they're falling off the house or that they have water damage coming around where there's a lot of peeling going around with the fascia and the soffit.
As I'm looking at old houses, I see a lot of this at the garages. What am I really looking at, and what's the repair that needs to be done?
Well, the whole board would need to get replaced, and preferably put it in with some kind of a composite.
Okay.
If you can't use a composite and you need to use real wood, I would make sure that the board is primed all the way around on all four sides and on all the ends. Because what happens is these boards get put on before they're painted, and the water wicks up from underneath,
Okay.
which causes the wood rot.
Wood rot on houses is one thing. Let's talk about wood rot on a deck and what happens there and what a homeowner needs to be looking for, both as a buyer and paying attention to as a homeowner and seller.
So with decks, you have natural wood, and it's not getting sealed before it's getting put on. So when we're sealing the deck boards, we're just sealing the top and partial sides. So when water gets in between the seams or in between the deck boards, has a tendency to start soaking into there and start causing wood rot.
Thank you so much for being here today. I've learned a lot, and I'm confident that everyone watching this video will learn a lot. How are people supposed to reach you?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. They can reach me at 816-225-4658 is a cell phone number, or they can email me at ajconstruction35@gmail.com.
That's great. This is Ellen Zetmeir with ReeceNichols Brookside. This has been another episode of I've Got a Guy. I'll see you around the neighborhood.